Hi everyone, we're going to be looking at graphing lines that are simply vertical or horizontal. And we're even going to figure out, given a vertical or a horizontal straight line, how to find its equation. First things first, how would we know simply by looking at the equation whether a line is a vertical line or a horizontal line? Quite simple. This first one up here, we've done previously. It has an x and a y in the equation. If the equation has both an x and a y in it, it will not be a vertical or a horizontal line. These three equations here are vertical or horizontal lines. This one only has an x in it. This one only has a y in it. This one only has an x in it. If an equation only has an x or only has a y in it, it's going to be a vertical or a horizontal line. But which one is which? Let's find out. Of those three equations before that were vertical or horizontal, let's look at the first one, x equals 2. Where do we start? We just learned how to graph a straight line using a table. Let's try using a table. There we go. And as usual, 3 points is enough. So we have a table big enough for 3 ordered pairs or 3 points. And like we said, x is the independent variable. Let's choose 3 evenly spaced x values. -3, 0, and 3. And to find the y value, let's put x equals -3 into our equation. -3 equals 2. What? I think we have a problem here.
Well, a table actually won't work in this case because the equation has no y in it, so it can't be written in function form. This particular equation is actually not even a function. But we'll talk more about what a function actually is another time. Since the equation is x equals 2, all you need to do is write 2 for all the x values, and you can choose whatever you like for the y values.
Oh, so the x value is always going to be 2. This is a bit of a strange case. Let's write those in. There we go. Okay, so I can pick my own y values. How about y equals -3, 0, and 1?
If you look at your table now, you'll notice that there's actually no pattern.
No, there is no pattern.
So, everybody, when graphing horizontal or vertical lines, using a table will work, but it actually won't give you any advantage because no pattern is ever going to appear. You can just simply find 3 points without a table. It's really easy. So easy, everybody, even he could do it.
So there you have it. While using a table is okay for this, there is a much simpler way, and drawing a table will just use up a lot of time. So we might just scrap the table. So the big question is, how do we get our 3 points to graph this line? Let me show you. We will end up with the same points from the table. Okay, but it's much simpler. All we have to do is put x equals 2 for all the x coordinates of our 3 points. Let's do that. All the x coordinates are 2. And the y coordinates can be any random numbers we choose. Any real number will do. Let's choose -3, 0, and 1, like we did for the table. -3, 0, and finally 1. And these will be our 3 points for our straight line.
Super easy.
Let's plot our 3 points. The first one, 2, -3. There we go. Our second point, 2, 0. There we go. And finally our third point, 2, 1. All done. So what do we see? We see 3 points lining up to make a vertical line. Now we can just draw our line with our 3 points. And there we have our straight line graph. Don't forget your arrows. And let's write the equation next to the straight line. X equals 2. It's that easy. So how do we sum up what we've learned from this example? It's this simple. Whenever we have an equation, x equals something, it is going to be a vertical line that cuts the x-axis at that something. X equals 2, a vertical line cutting the x-axis at x equals 2. Very easy. And if you can't remember if it's vertical or horizontal, just make 3 points and it will appear before you. Another way you can remember it, x equals 2, it will cut the x-axis at 2 and it will never cut the y-axis, which means it's parallel to the y-axis. Let's now try the second example we were looking at in the beginning. Y plus 5 equals 1. Well, that's not y equals something, is it? So we've got a couple of steps to do first. Let's get y alone on the left-hand side. How do we undo the plus 5? We subtract 5 from both sides. 5 and negative 5 cancel out, leaving us with the equation y equals negative 4. Now it's in the form y equals something. This is definitely going to be a vertical or a horizontal line. But which is which? Let's make our 3 points. This time, the y values or the y coordinates for each point are always going to be negative 4. Y equals negative 4, let's put negative 4 for all the y values. There we go. And for the x values, you just choose any number you like, any real numbers. I think I'll choose 1, 4, and a negative 1, negative 3. There we go. We now have our 3 points. Let's plot our first point, 1, negative 4. There we go. Our second point, 4, negative 4. Well, so this looks like it's going to be a horizontal line. And our third point, negative 3, negative 4. It's definitely going to be a horizontal line this time. Let's draw the line. And there we have it. Let's not forget our finishing touches, arrows and the equation next to the line. All finished. So in summing up this time, whenever we graph a line with equation y equals something, it's going to be a horizontal line cutting the y-axis at that something. So here we have y equals negative 4, it cuts the y-axis at negative 4. And another way to think about it, if you've got y equals negative 4, it will cut the y-axis at negative 4, but never cut the x-axis. Therefore, it will be parallel to the x-axis. And as we had before, if you forget that, all you need to do is make 3 points. Put your y coordinate as whatever this number is, and then choose any value for x, and you will get 3 points. And the line will just appear in front of you. This one's an interesting one. Let's graph the straight line given by the equation x equals 0. Let's find our 3 points as we've been doing. So is this going to be a vertical line or a horizontal line? X equals something, y equals something, I can't remember. It's okay. We're just going to use this strategy. You never have to panic. X equals 0, we're going to put all the x coordinate values as 0. Here we go. And the y coordinate values, we can just choose any real numbers we like. I think I'll choose 3, 0, and a negative 1, negative 2. There we have 3 points. Let's plot them on our coordinate plane. 0, 3. 0, 0, the origin. I think this is going to be a vertical line. 0, negative 2. So this is interesting. We have a straight line that goes down through the y-axis. Let's graph it. And of course, let's write the equation next to our line. X equals 0, just a little arrow just to assist the person reading it, that they know that the straight line is going through the y-axis. So the line x equals 0 is a vertical line going through the y-axis. And this tells us one other thing that's very important. The y-axis can actually be considered a line with an equation of its own. The equation of the y-axis is x equals 0. You see, I can explain things just as well as you can.
Oh, yes. Do you really think so, do you?
Well, I'm getting a little bit more confident.
Oh, well, as long as you think so, that's all that matters, I guess. Got a long way to go yet, Sonny Jim.
I don't need your advice. I think I'm doing a pretty good job.
Well, actually, it wasn't advice. I was just stating a fact.
Thank you. Let's look at another example. Let's try example 2, a slightly different type of question. We're asked to graph a horizontal line that goes through the point -3, 1, and then we're asked to determine its equation. Determine, that's an important word. What does it mean? It basically means figure it out and write it down. The first thing we should do, let's plot the point -3, 1. There we go. This is not so hard after all. Our next step is draw a horizontal line through the point -3, 1. Well, that's easy. And there we go. I'm always nagging about arrows, aren't I? I'll stop one day.
Oh, enough with the arrows already. Everybody's getting sick of your nagging about arrows.
Well, what they are important, aren't they?
Oh, yes, very important.
Whatever, let's keep going. So now we're asked to find the equation of this horizontal line through the point -3, 1. What is it? It's horizontal. Oh no, I've forgotten. Is that x equals something or is it y equals something? I can never remember. Don't panic, it's not that hard. Let's just look at a couple of other points that are on this line. Let's just write a couple. Let's look at one over here. What would be the coordinates of that point right there? -5, 1. Let's look at another point over there somewhere. What would be the coordinates of that point over there? That would be 3, 1. Now all we need to do is look at the coordinates of these 3 points that are on the line. Look at the x coordinates and the y coordinates. Which one is always the same? Did you get it? Hopefully you've noticed that the y coordinate is always 1. The x coordinate is changing, so we can't say x is a fixed value. But we can see that the y coordinate is always 1, so y has a fixed value, which means the equation is y equals 1. So there we have it. It always just comes down to identifying a couple of points and then just having a close look at the x coordinates and the y coordinates. This is also a nice little teachable moment here. If we forgot to label the x over there, how would we know which one is the x-axis and which one is the line we're supposed to be graphing? Make sure you do your labeling. Would you like a little more practice? If the answer is yes, please try examples 3 and 4. In example 3, which line was horizontal and which line was vertical? From example 3, were you able to figure out the equation of the x-axis? If so, what is it? And what's the equation of the vertical line to be determined in example 4? Please share your answers in the comments, and thank you for watching.